Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Listen, the Blue Jays are cooking up something brilliant here, and most people are completely missing it. There's a new report out about Toronto still having interest in Max Scherzer, and on the surface, everyone's like, why, he's 41 years old. The rotation's already crowded. What's the point? But dig a little deeper, and you'll realize this is actually genius. John Heyman just confirmed the Jays still have interest in bringing Max back. Now, here's what makes this fascinating. Scherzer made it clear after the World Series run that he wants to return to baseball. He's not ready to hang it up. The competitor in him won't let him walk away, especially after getting that close to a ring. But he's also said he's willing to wait until midseason if that's what it takes to find the right situation. Think about what Toronto just accomplished. They made the World Series with Scherzer as a key piece. He started Game 7. Yeah, his ERA was over 5 for the regular season, but context matters. The thumb injury plagued him all year. When he was healthy, he showed flashes of being elite. And in the playoffs, when it mattered most, he delivered. That's not a coincidence. That's experience. That's a Hall of Famer knowing how to turn it on when the lights are brightest. But here's where this gets really interesting, and this is the part nobody's talking about. Bringing Scherzer back isn't just about what he does on the mound, it's about what he does in the clubhouse. Remember how he mentored Trey Savage throughout the entire postseason? Savage himself talked about how important Max was to his development. We saw it in the dugout between innings, Scherzer breaking down hitters, talking mechanics, sharing decades of big league wisdom with a kid who'd never been in that situation before. Now imagine extending that influence across the entire pitching staff. You've got young guys like Cody Pond trying to establish themselves. You've got Dylan Cease, who's been great, but could always pick up things from a 3-time Cy Young winner. You've got Berrios, Gausman, the whole group. Having Max Scherzer around as essentially a player-coach would be invaluable. And here's the kicker. You can structure his contract to reflect that dual role. Pay him to pitch, sure, but also compensate him for being a mentor. Make him part of the coaching staff while keeping him available to throw innings when needed. Whether that's spot starts when someone's injured, long relief, or even just bullpen depth, he can still contribute on the field. But the real value is everything he brings off it. First ballot Hall of Famers who genuinely love teaching don't grow on trees. The Jays would be foolish not to capitalize on his willingness to pass along that knowledge. And let's be real about the rotation situation. Yes, on paper it looks stacked. Berrios, Gausman, Cease, Bieber when he's healthy, Savage, Pond. But we've seen how quickly depth evaporates over 162 games. Injuries happen. Guys underperform. Having Scherzer as insurance isn't a luxury, it's smart roster construction. You're not counting on him to be your ace, but knowing he's there if you need him, that's huge. The money won't be crazy either. He's 41, coming off an injury-plagued season. He's not getting a massive deal from anyone. Toronto could probably bring him back on something reasonable, especially if they frame it as a longer-term investment in the organization. Maybe even hint at transitioning him into a full-time coaching role down the line if he wants it. That's the kind of forward thinking that separates good front offices from great ones. Now, speaking of the pitching market, Framber Valdez is officially off the board. He just signed with the Tigers for 3 years, $150 million. That's a massive deal. The Jays were connected to him, but as I said before, they would have needed the market to completely crater for that to happen. It didn't. Detroit swooped in and paid up. Good for them. Scary for the rest of the American League because pairing Valdez with Tarik Skubal gives them one of the nastiest 1-2 punches in baseball. I'm not thrilled Framber stayed in the AL, but at least it's not the Red Sox or Yankees. The Tigers are building something interesting. They're going to be a problem. But that's also why securing your own pitching depth matters. If Toronto lands Scherzer, even in a reduced role, it keeps them competitive in what's shaping up to be a brutal division. Here's something wild that happened yesterday. Kiner-Falefa signed with Boston for 1 year, $6 million. $6 million. For a guy who hit under 250 and is known more for his glove than his bat. Meanwhile, Miguel Andujar, who hit .318 last year and actually provides offensive value, signed for less. How does that make sense? It doesn't. But that's baseball. Defense and versatility get rewarded, sometimes more than production. The Red Sox adding Kiner-Falefa means the Jays are going to see a lot of him this season. Not exactly thrilling, but whatever. What bothers me more is that Toronto didn't make a move like the Andujar signing. Low risk, potential upside, fills a need. Those are exactly the types of moves contending teams should be making in February. You don't have to break the bank. Just add depth and give yourself options. Which brings me back to Scherzer. This is that exact type of move. Low risk because he's not getting a huge contract. High reward because even a diminished Scherzer brings value, and the mentorship aspect is off the charts. The Jays don't have a salary cap. There's literally no reason not to do this unless they genuinely don't think he has anything left. But I don't buy that. Not after what we saw in October. Make it happen, Toronto. Bring Max back. Let him pitch when it makes sense. Let him coach the rest of the time. And watch Trey Savage and the rest of that young pitching staff take another leap forward because they're learning from one of the greatest to ever do it.